colorectal disease management program, where we have various programs under which, including robotic surgery is one such differentiator. A very important program for all patients with colorectal disorders. We have upper GI program, we have hepatobiliary, we have transplant, and we also have bariatric program in GI surgery, and one of the most important one is also the colorectal surgery program. So we have a separate institute. I thank our Vice Chairperson, our Chairman, and all of them support all our clinicians to give best to our patients. So they support with internationally available best technology to help our patients. Apollo brings that technology first to the country. One such program is Apollo Robotic Surgery Program. When the colorectal surgery was performed traditionally as open surgery and subsequently laparoscopic surgery, the transformation happened to robotic surgery. We have our director of Institute of Colorectal Disease Management and Colorectal Robotic Surgery Program, Dr. Venki Munikrishnan. He was trained in UK, worked in UK, has vast experience. He came to India 10 years back and started the program. But formally this, with all the segment which required to form an institute, with which including the smart surgery, that is robotic colorectal surgery, introduction of that happened 5 years back. And Dr. Venki Munikrishnan has been the instrumental person to create this subspecialty in colorectal surgery, robotic surgery. And we have, he is a very excellent surgeon across internationally, and he been visiting faculty to University College of London and Cleveland Clinic, and being part of many colorectal program internationally, not just in India. And in India, he has performed many thousands of colorectal surgery, and many patients benefited out of his institute and his care. And we are really proud of him and thankful to him. Today, marking this fifth year of completion in colorectal surgery, Dr. Venki Munikrishnan, over his presentation, will take us through what we have achieved, what is the vision for next decade or two, how we are going to help the patient with this disease. And with that, I conclude my welcome remark. And once again, welcome to everybody gathered here. Thank you very much.
We put a seed somewhere, and that's what our chairman did, and I'm going to go through that journey. Unless the seed is planted, it's not going to grow. So I think we need to look back at our journey and then look forward for our patients so that we can keep doing our best, which is why we're all here. Slide, please. Slide. Next slide. So, what we do, all we do, is for our patients. Our patients are at the center of the entire healthcare universe. Why we do what we do, train, practice surgery, bring this infrastructure where they can come and get the treatment. So it is at the center of what we do, nothing else. And we exist only for that. Next slide, please. So when I met Chairman a decade ago, yes, I was training, trying to figure out I wanted to come back to India, and I did. And then I met Chairman, and we were discussing, like a chat over coffee, what else could I do, what else he could do, what else this entire Apollo ecosystem could do to make our patients better. And that was the most fascinating discussion, the best discussion, next slide please, I've ever had, which changed my life. And I hope it's changed the many lives for our patients for the better. So some of the things which we discussed were subspecialization. I'll go through them one by one. That is organ-specific surgery. And build teams. Because this is not a one-man's job or a one-woman's job. It is teamwork. And if not for that, some of the patients who are here would have got the best treatment which they deserve. The next is advanced surgical technology. Surgical technology is changing. We can't even imagine where we're going to be in another 5-10 years' time. We're already there. We're already in the future, which you don't even recognize. That's robotic surgery. And then it's quality assurance. We can do surgery, but how do we know that we are good? We need to look at ourselves, look at our results, audit our results to see if you're right up there as according to international standards, or are we setting the international standards? Because that's where we want to be as part of this Apollo ecosystem. And the next part is creating awareness, screening, because it's so important, because you could easily ignore symptoms because they're common. You think, oh yeah, particularly in this pandemic period where patients are being worried about the COVID-19 virus, you could easily ignore symptoms which are important. And of course, we are trying to be of international standards, or we create the standard, and we want to collaborate with our colleagues from around the world so that we move forward our education and research. Next slide, please. Next slide. So let's look at subspecialization. Next slide. We know that from research that subspecialization of organ-specific surgery gives the best results for our patients. Our patients benefit much better if a particular surgeon does a particular operation repeatedly. Treatment for diseases is becoming more complex and advanced. So next slide please. One size doesn't fit all, it just doesn't fit all anymore. Next slide. As we are a cricket-loving country, I thought I'd put this slide up. This is a summary of all the great cricketers in the world. There is Don Bradman with an average of 99.94. Greatest batsman the world has ever seen. But you look at the number of wickets, he's taken 2 wickets. Then you look at Shane Warne, his batting average is 17 plus, 700 plus wickets. Then you look at Muthiah Muralidharan down the list, 800 wickets, batting average is about 11 something. Then you look at Sachin Tendulkar, our own Sachin Tendulkar, 15,000 plus runs, batting average of 50 plus. But number of wickets is 46 and all the tests he's played. What it shows is that genuine all-rounders are rare. Kapil Dev, Ian Botham, rare. Specialist batsmen, bowlers are the future, because that's what they do. That's why we get results. And I think that's where surgery is also going. I hope that's a good analogy. Next slide, please. So already general surgery is split into, if you go back 30, 40 years, general surgeons were doing cardiac surgery, all of them, for example, and surgical gastroenterology. Now we split into several subdivisions, and here we at Apollo are already driving most of these subdivisions and doing it really well. So, next slide, please. So the GI tract is from the mouth to the anus. It's a long way. It's really a long way. And when we got trained abroad, 20 years ago, they were already speaking of subspecialization, and they said, you can't really do all of it. You can choose an area which you want to do and be really good at it. That made a lot of sense, and I think it makes a lot of sense in what we do here at Apollo, because we identify teams which can do a particular procedure or a surgical procedure and do it really well. So that's how colorectal specialty was, evolved. Next slide, please. So why is it important, and why do you think we need to focus? There are several common diseases which all of us would know, because anything to do with, digestion or not having a good bowel movement or not passing stools or bleeding, immediately the presumption, at least in the Indian subcontinent, is that, oh, we've got piles, let's go ask someone, Google, and let's take some pills. So several common diseases like piles, hemorrhoids, fissures, fistula, right? Colitis, and of course colorectal cancer. And that's why I put that alert, because several of these diseases have got similar symptoms: rectal bleeding, change in bowel habit, weight loss, anemia. So I think a time has come, a long time ago, and that's why we started this journey almost a decade ago, that we need to focus more on a particular area and provide both simple. It doesn't have to be complex robotics, simple. But we need to spend our energies and times to sort of identify these symptoms, create awareness, because it takes a lot of time to do that, build programs, and provide advanced treatments. Next slide, please. So we know that subspecialization in any form of surgery, particularly colorectal surgery, is safer, we have less complications, and better clinical outcomes. Particularly in colorectal cancer, low rectal cancer, where the cancer is close to the anus, which controls the motion. You go to the toilet, you relax your muscles, you pass stools. If you get a cancer close to it, traditionally, a decade ago, you would have lost your anus and have a permanent bag. What we're doing now with subspecialization, doing more of it as a team. It is not a one-man job, it is a team, it is the infrastructure, it is the entire, right from the dome of the hospital to the exit billing. All of us are part of the same ecosystem, work together, because it has to be a process to achieve what we achieve. And what we achieve is that we're trying to use advanced technology, better communication, explain to our patients, understand so that they understand what we're trying to achieve, so that we can remove these cancers and try to reconstruct them so that they can avoid their permanent bags and go and have a close to normal life. And
why is Apollo successful, or what is the success of Apollo? And I think it's been the fact that we always put the patient's outcomes, clinical outcomes, way before any other decision which we take. And I think that has really been the bedrock of what Apollo does, and we will continue to do it. This Institute of Colorectal Surgery, again, is 5 years old. They've had some phenomenal training, collaboration, joint research work, joint workshops with UCL and with the Cleveland Clinic, which are really the best in class. Also, this is now the largest colorectal program in the country, so I think the team has done us proud, and we're so happy that you're all here, and congratulations to everyone. It's really good to be way ahead of the others. It's good because then we really have come to a level where we can benchmark ourselves on some of the best institutions or standards globally. We can monitor outcomes because we have a ream of data. And today with AI and with the fact that technology can actually make you more intelligent in the way you do things, I think robotic in multiple ways is an answer. Sometimes when you do a traditional form of surgery, you have to really use your intuition and you have to navigate what happens inside the human body. But with robotics, backed by the fact that there is a scope for AI and machine learning or artificial intelligence, whatever you want to say, I think the navigation also becomes much easier. The monitoring of post-op what happens is again much more efficient. So I think it gives really the best for the patient, and I think that's really what we have to do. The clinical teams again have made a great effort to establish the Center of Excellence. They have created a repository of all possible information in this particular discipline. And I think this is very valuable as a resource, because whenever we want to do research, we have this repository of information. It takes a lot of hard work, a lot of back-end work, which is not necessary for everyone to do. But this particular team has done it and done it so well, and I think they really need to be commended for that. Again, there is a lot of education and training which has been part of their repertoire, that while they do phenomenal surgeries with great outcomes, They're also part of multiple training programs within India and globally. So they are positioned as one of the best centers, not only in India but globally, and I think that is something which all of us as Indians should be extremely, extremely proud of. The interaction with the best in class, with their peers, whether it's at the Mayo Clinic, whether it's at Cleveland, whether it's within India, within systems who are doing this kind of robotic work, is consistent. It happens sometimes on a weekly basis or definitely on a monthly basis, and the training aspect of it just gets better and better as we go along. We are humbled and honored that Apollo has established the first dedicated center for the management of colorectal diseases. It is a front runner, and it happened. We started the first step 5 years ago, led by Dr. Venki Krishnan. But now, over the 5 years, we have seen that this intense focus in what we do, not doing multiple other things, but doing one, has really helped in expertise, in the way we can do what we're doing on a daily basis. Again, it's a bit like archery that, when you stand behind the bow and arrow, you only focus on the target and you don't start shooting with a gun or multiple other weapons. In a way, this focus on colorectal surgery has been like that intense focus has shown that some of the most difficult things which sometimes have been refused or sometimes have been impossible have been possible here. And for that, again, I would like to congratulate the team, the supporting team, my colleagues at work, and of course the members of the media, that all of us have come together with just a single-minded devotion, one of course to our country, because we're all proud Indians and we have to tell the rest of the world that India really does such fantastic stuff, but also to acknowledge the fact that we are really second to none, and whatever we set out to do, we do it extremely well. So thank you all for being there. Congratulations to the team, and thank you for the patients and their families for being part of this journey with us. Jai Hind and Namaste.
Is today's oncology. In oncology, there are many cancers, both in men and women of all ages, are taking a big toll. One of the important branches of oncology is colorectal surgery. The colorectal surgery is now increasing at about 15% per annum, which is becoming a major threat. So we believe that at Apollo, whatever we have done is to bring in higher measures to treat cancers with greater specificity and precision and causing minimal side effects. One of the major things that we have done is to create a separate department of colorectal surgery in 2016 and also simultaneously start the robotic colorectal surgery. And my student, Dr. Krishnan, being trained abroad and came back here and he was doing his colorectal surgery, but it's a robotic surgery. He now has done a tremendously well. So the patient gets greater precision surgery with minimal side effects and goes home early. And the results are much better. And he has done probably the largest numbers in the country, close to 500 colorectal surgery. And we now asked him to establish the robotic colorectal surgery program in other hospitals of ours, so that together they can make a significant impact in furthering the management of colorectal surgery using the robots. But I think all of us must remember that oncology is going to play a very significant role in morbidity and mortality in the world. And India is not behind anywhere. I think we have the second largest numbers of oncology patients in the country. And I think we should do every effort to see how we can transmit better management of these cancers so that patients get the best of care. And we should be feeling happy that we're able to do surgery using the water. God bless all of you. I'm sure this program and Dr. Munikrishnan will help spread the program within robotic colorectal surgeries right across the nation. God bless all of you. And I want all of you to think saying, we will deal with the non-communicable disease not as predicted. The prediction was that 80% of the deaths will be from NTD, and the cost budget is going to be for India $4.38 trillion. Where can we go 50% of the GDP? When we're contracting 1%, 1.25%. So I think what we can do is an earlier diagnosis. For this, the board has promoted the program called the ProHealth, so that you will do individualized, personalized health check program, so that diagnosis will be made early and the disease will be not treated but will be cured. God bless all. I love you.
rectal bleeding. Otherwise, settle ಆಗಲೇ 6 ವಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ கண்டிப்பா ஒரு டாக்டர் பார்க்கணும், ஒரு எக்ஸாமினேஷன் கண்டிப்பா ஒரு ரெகுலர் எக்ஸாமினேஷன் பண்ணணும், ஆசன வழியா வெளில வச்சு செக் பண்ணணும், ரொம்ப ரொம்ப இம்பார்ட்டன்ட்.
Any other questions?
Very good.
What's the cost of this procedure?
Cost, so it depends. If you're talking about robotics, it will cost you on average between 4.5 and 5.5 lakhs average. That includes everything from coming to hospital, going on. Of course, there are plus or minus 10-15%, but what we're trying to do, the more we do, the costs come down.
Conventional method, so how much?
So conventional method will cost you between 4 to 5 lakhs, depending on 3.5 to 4.5 lakhs. The point is, it is a big cut, more painful, more hernias, slower recovery, more blood loss, longer stay in hospital. So this technology, laparoscopy cuts lots of it down. Robotics no further quicker recovery. In the particularly rectal cancer, the organ is very close to important nerves, which are important for urine control, motion control, sexual function. So this technology helps us to see it in 3 dimensions, clarity of 10 times magnification. And instruments along this ரொம்ப சிறிதாக்கப்பட்டிருக்கிறதுனால ரொம்ப நுணுக்கமாக போய் நம்ம லோ பெல்விஸில் இதை எடுத்துட்டு திரும்ப ஜாயின் பண்ணிருக்கு. நான் ரெக்டம் லோ ரெக்டமாக எடுத்துட்டு பேக் வச்சுக்கலாம். Now we are able to remove that and join. And that's, I think, very important for the patients.
This is bigger again, sir.
So that's why if you pick the cancer early, and that's why we give the chemo radiation to shrink it, so the recurrence rate comes down, and then do good surgery. Surgery is the mainstay. Surgery is colorectal cancer, the mainstay. Rectal cancer, particularly, we have to give radiation, chemo, so that the chance of recurrence is lesser, and also surgery will completely cure it. Other late stage, obviously, outcomes. Awareness create with all your help, we can get these patients in early.
Any other questions? So if there are no further questions, we'll move on to the online media. So we have one question from the online media members. How has the pandemic affected these patients?
Yes. So that's very important because this pandemic, virus weekly generally இந்த symptoms இருந்துச்சுன்னா piles சொல்லி உதாசனப்படுறோம். Piles-ன்றது வந்து as I said usually simple treatment சரியாயிடும். But colorectal cancer-ன்றது வந்து we can't 6 வாரத்துக்கு மேல symptoms இருந்துச்சுனாக்கா you have to get to see a specialist to get it examined. But the important point is இது உதாசனம் வெளியில போக முடியாத காரணத்துக்காக stage 1, stage 2 and then stage 3, stage 4 like stage migration across the world, across all.
We have a multilingual test, so and English will be better.
English, okay. So because of the pandemic, we've been stuck in the house, home, or we're not able to go and ask for help. So what happens is these patients are getting advanced in the stage from stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, where cure becomes difficult. So it was across all cancers, all problems. It could be even cardiac disease also. Advanced or block because we're not going on. So what we are finding is that the pandemics had a very bad effect on this entire landscape. So now that we are starting to step out, we need to create more awareness so these patients can be aware of their symptoms, and if it's not getting better, they should come and seek help.
The next question is one of the basic questions you've addressed earlier. So what is colorectal cancer? Have its cases increased in the recent years? And how is robotic surgery helping treat this disease?
So colorectal cancer is cancer of the colon, perigudal, malacudal, asthma. So in the incidence of colorectal cancer is 4 per 100,000 in India. In England, it's about 35 per 100,000. So incidence is very low, but the death rates and mortality rates are very higher because our patients come at a late stage, because we don't have a screening program. Yeah, because we don't have the high incidence. So that's why at least symptom-based. Symptoms are 6 weeks, more than 6 weeks, then you should get screened. Because, and it's affect, as you saw, that it can affect any age group, right from young to old, and we're seeing that young Asian males are more prone for rectal cancer. And so that's becoming a huge problem. So we need to create more awareness so that we can help these patients to seek help. Traditionally, it's open surgery, but more with the advanced technology, we are able to do these operations faster, quicker. Patients are getting lesser complications, less blood loss, better nerve preservation, better return to normal function is better with these patients. And so I think that's where this technology is augmenting what we do.
The next question is this surgery available only at Chennai unit?
No, this surgery is available across the country. There's robots in Delhi, Mumbai, Calcutta, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Vaisakh running these programs. Obviously, they're all newer programs, and we are the oldest programs, but yeah, it's available across the country.
Who are more predisposed to get this cancer?
So, one age group as well as it traditionally used to be 60 plus, but in America now people are being screened from 45. So we don't have a screening program, but we are seeing younger people also. Predisposed to ulcerative colitis, Crohn's, ulcerative colitis particularly predisposes to colorectal cancer, family history of colorectal, children who are the wife. So we need to, so when patients come to see me, it's important to tell them to get their children screened or their brothers and sisters screened, so it can be familial too. And there can be some syndromes where it's called familial adenoid polyposis, FAP, other the families the world. So these are the high risk groups.
I think that's about it.
So I have another question on this side. I just have one question. You just told me that Asians are prone to this disease actually. Why this geographical mention, sir?
Sorry?
You told me that Asians are prone to this disease recently. Why this geographical mention? Any special?
This reason could be one, we are living longer. Average length of lifetime in average Indian has increased. Two, we're eating more processed food. People are eating out of restaurants, unhealthy lifestyles, smoking, alcohol, all these things have an effect.
This is just something which you touched upon. So how much does food habits affect?
Very important. I think it's very, very important to eat healthy, exercise, very, very important. That's something which I personally have taken seriously in the last year and a half in the pandemic. And it's made a huge difference to my digestion system. And I think unhealthy food, a lot of processed food, red meat, all these are high risk factors. And I think move on to more plant-based food. I think it's good for all of us.
So if there are no further questions, now I'd like to officially close the Q&A session. I think that's about it.
Thank you.
I'd like to invite Dr. Venkasalam for the vote of thanks.
Big thank you to all. Our special thanks to our friends from the press, been always supportive for our hospital. I think both print and electronic media gathered here. It is an important thing for all of us is that whatever we do here in our hospital, it has to reach the public. Public should know that what is the best clinical treatment available, which is comparable to international standard, because Apollo stood for, committed to give that edge compared to other hospitals. Therefore, if we do robotic surgery, what is the advantage, how patients benefit out of this program is very, very important for a common person and patients who need this surgery, because if they don't know, they can go somewhere, get open surgery done or laparoscopic, and may not get the best treatment modality available to them. So that's very important. So I thank really press members for being here with us last 1.5 hours, listening to us and taking to public to create this awareness. And I'm really thankful to our chairman. He couldn't come physically here because of other engagement, but his wishes and blessing for this program and his vision inspires us, all of us. And my thanks to our chairman, Dr. Pratap Reddy. Also, a sincere thanks to our chairperson, Mrs. Krita Reddy, for her insight and her encouragement and motivation to all to the program, to doctors, to also to highlight what is that Apollo is committed to do for the patient care. And big thanks to Dr. Venki Munikrishnan, Director of Institute of Colorectal Surgery, and he has been game changer for us, not just for Apollo, for the country, in terms of bringing this technology and giving to the Indian population, because it is very important that, as I said, that giving the best to our patients is very important. We can give anything, but giving the best is something only few people can do. I think Dr. Venki consistently doing this, and I really appreciate and thank for his commitment, for his support to all his patients and our patients and patients anywhere who needs his care. And I also appreciate and thank patients who have come here all the way from different parts of the country, also from other country, to be here to express their journey, experience through those treatment process. And I'm really touched to see that how they all got back to almost normal life. I think that is something very, very satisfying to anybody. And we are really thankful to those patients who made their presence to your encouragement, patients' encouragement, feedback really encourages us. And thank you to all the patients. And finally, the organizing team, our marketing team, led by Ms. Naveen and Ms. Sugandhiya, our PRO, for putting up and arranging this press meet to take this message about the awareness of this program to the public at large. And once again, my sincere thanks to all the members gathered here. Thank you.